Good evening and welcome to Slam the Gavel, the show that tells it all regarding family court, criminal court, and other court issues, as well as CPS. I am your host, Maryann Petri. You can find me, my books, and blogs on dismantlingfamilycourtcorruption.com. And you can also find me on Amazon. All my books are in audio, including the newly released bestseller, Raised by These Wolves, Volume 3, Family and Juvenile Courts Continue to Destroy Future Generations. Okay, so I thought I would do Self Care Fri-yay. Really glad it's Fri-yay. We should be happy. Okay, so what I thought I would start off with, because what I discussed last Friday is that I'm getting closer to finishing the sweater. Hang on. So what I wanted to tell you, because I think last week I just showed you the front and this is the back. Okay, so just to show you that this, okay, so in case people don't know what knitting is, okay, this is called ribbing, purl two, knit two, purl two. This is the seed stitch. This is the cable stitch. I call this the V stitch. Another cable. I call this part the Celtic knot. I'm sure there's some other name for it. I don't know what it is. Then another cable and another V. Okay, so then what else is that? Finish the front, finish the back. I don't know if it's going to be a turtleneck or a V-neck or whatever, but I started the sleeve. Yay! Thunderous applause, please. I'm telling you, this has been so unbelievable. So I started this, and I should really honestly be farther along. But again, the seed stitch, the purls, the V's, the purls, the seed stitch. Okay, so apparently I need 4 more V's to make it 7, which is a lucky number, but I worry because my arms are longer and that has always been a problem. So I'm going to have to try it on as I go. I hate fitting as I go. If anyone knits, they know what this means. But anyway, I did it very inexpensively. This is a cable needle. Okay. This helps you move your yarn stitches around. Okay. And this is the color of the yarn. It's like an army green, olive green. And I wanted that so bad because I don't know. I was thinking of if I could afford a pair of breeches that would match. But we'll see about that. I don't know if that will happen, but we always live in the moment, in fight or flight sometimes, especially when you're in a stressful situation. When you're in college, going through school, it can be really stressful. I was in nursing school. I know because that situation was so stressful. And there were teachers that would just scream at you at the top of their lungs. Luckily, I did not get screamed at, thank God, because I had a job with the dean of nursing. So I think I was protected, which I thought was nice. I loved working with her and for her. And I could do my own hours because I also worked as a bank teller at the same time. So I did an associate degree nursing, which I don't think they offer anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong out there, but that's what I was doing. And that kept me busy enough. Okay. So I'm going to move on to some of the other things I have been doing. Okay, so this is unusual. This is called a vignette. Okay, I'll explain as we go. Okay, so you've got this mug that I got at the Salvation Army, and I loved it until it got broken, right? And I did not want to throw it out because it got broken here into it like a V. Okay, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do with this. I can't glue it back, and you can't drink out of it once it's been broken." So I thought, well, I'm going to use it as a vignette. Okay, so I found a plastic Brittany Spaniel, which my first dog, Bettis. We called him Bettis. My sister-in-law named him. I was going to call him Bailey because he looked like a Bailey after Irish Baileys. Anyway, so I guess we had Bettis, and I repainted him to look just like he looked. I tried to use lighter paint, and he was very curly, very kind of coarse but soft fur. And he had freckles on his feet, and you can see on his nose up to his forehead. Then here he had an area on the top of his forehead where it looked like a wrench. It was shaped like a wrench. And I was like, wow, he was like artwork in motion. I'm not kidding you. If you saw him just walk across the kitchen, it was the most beautiful thing to look at. And he passed in 2023 of April, and I still miss him. Anyway, I'm still working on this because I'd like to add some things to it. Like I want to get like a plastic bird maybe and put it there because Brittany Spaniels are bird dogs and they're from France and they do kill birds. I'm sorry, but a cute little baby robin, like a plastic robin, real small, kind to be in proportion with the dog. I'll tell you one funny story about Bettis was that he was outside playing. He was in an enclosure type of fence. Oh my God. So he wanted to come in, and I saw him approaching the door with his head down. His head was completely down. I'm thinking, I don't know what his problem is, but I let him in, and he drops a bird at my feet. And I'm like, oh no. However, the bird was still going a little bit. So I had to go get a shovel. Like, I'm half Italian, so yes, I've seen The Godfather multiple times. I'm sorry. This is not funny. But I had to take the bird out of its misery and get it away from the dog as well. So that's what I had to do that day. That was depressing. I also had to say, "Oh, good dog, good boy," because that is what they're bred for. They're bred to kill birds. But I think he's magnificent. And so what I want to tell you is if you have a favorite mug and it breaks, do something with it. So what I did was I filled it with styrofoam and then I also measured to make sure it was level and I put this actual moss over it. So I don't know if that's a good idea or not, or I don't know if it will turn brown later. So we will see what happens. I will keep you posted on that, but I don't know if there's a date on this. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to tip it over. But anyway, that kept me busy for a while, and it just really bothered me that this mug, even though it's an antique and it was broken, I didn't want to throw it out. So that was a project that had to get done. As luckily, I found this dog to complete the project. Very hard to find a Brittany Spaniel. So, moving right along, I want to let everybody know that I did finish my Chinese New Year junk journal. This is really fun. It was fun to make. And I put some bling on the horse. I got to have my bling. Red and gold stand for wealth and prosperity. If anyone could correct me or add to that. But my friend gave me these coins to use. Then I had this great idea. And I bought this last year. I bought an actual coin. Can you see that? It's thin, and it's really, really nice. I really like it. Okay, what the deal is with this coin, I got it off of eBay. So this was made between 621 to 718 AD, China, Kai Huan Tong Bao, Tang Dynasty. And I was really glad to get this because it's really old. And I've read Sun Tzu, Art of War, and I have read Lao Tzu, and I've learned a lot from those guys. Buddha, not so much, but I'll show you some of this. This whole junk journal is on Slam the Gavel podcast if you want to go look through the whole video. I think it's 19 minutes long, but I think I was showing you all some of this last week, that there's pockets and some interesting papers. Yeah, it's really, whoops, really unique. And this is a hand-dyed paper one of my friends sent me. And let's talk about this tassel some more. I was really brave and I did put an eyelet there, right? So there's an eyelet there. And I learned how to make the tassels from my friend Kristen Ramanujan, and she's on YouTube, um, Kri underscore Rama, I believe. And this was very simple to put together. Okay, so I have bead caps that were silver, but I did paint them gold. Then I took up a wooden bead and I covered it with ribbon, and I took wire just as she instructed to do. And this bead here is my mom. So here you can see the bead caps, the bead that was wood, another bead cap. Okay, so the bead caps were silver. I had to paint them gold because I did not feel like running out to the store. So that is what I did with that, along with this coin that I actually paid. What did I pay for that? $9.81 and shipping. But I felt it was worth it because I wanted to make an authentic Chinese New Year of the horse junk journal. These, if you're wondering what this is, are it's gold cording that holds signatures together. If you don't know anything about junk journaling, you can just like get on YouTube and look it up, and I see if I can show you signatures. See one, two, and three. So they have got to be sewn in. And I actually had everybody sewn in. And then I realized I probably should have put this in first, but I did it. I did it. And I love this area here. I love the red and gold. It's also here. Back page. Whoa, if I can turn to the back page. Oh, I love this. And I do have some sayings there, if you can see that. And this is the back of the junk journal. And here is some older papers. I don't know how old these papers are. This it's like tissue paper in a way. And then I have her in between, and the Great Wall of China. So I just put a lot of things in there because I was watching Bling Empire and that show fascinated me. I was watching season one, and these people fascinated me because they're very creative and very work driven. And I really loved all the characters in there. So that's part of the reason why I also made this junk journal. Again, you can go look on Slam the Gavel podcast and you can see the whole video of this junk journal and all the pages. But especially, I just love this, that it could be completely handmade. And I totally thank Kristen for teaching me how to do this. Her video is also on her YouTube channel on how to make these. And it's simply fun, quick, and painless, and easy to make. Okay. So I finished that. Oh, and I did use PowerTech Power Wax again to preserve the whole book. Okay, so you can see the shine. Okay, so if you see some cloudy areas, what that is the paper, this paper. I glued it down with Yes glue, and I I did have all the areas, but it's like kind of, I think the cardboard is kind of dipping here and there. So I think that is what the issue is, but I think it adds character to the book. It looks like a leather book. So again, go on YouTube, Slam the Gavel, and you can look up that book. It's right there, comes up. Whole video, I think it's only 19 minutes long. So I thought, well, I've got to keep up with my other projects because I'm the type, if you're under stress, you've got to stay busy. Like I said, if you're in school, if you've got things going on, family issues, maybe even court issues, you've got to stay busy. Um, I don't know if I mentioned this, but when I was court watching, I was doing the back. When I was doing the back, it was so tense in the court watching department that week. But I totally messed up my rows and I got up this high. Okay, I got it this high. And then I had to rip it all back because I totally messed up this whole area. I got over it. Just get over it. Okay. So my other project I wanted to show you is Dina Wakley's Ledger. You see Ledger? It's a journal. This is like so cool. I had to wait months for it to come because it was selling out so quickly. And I love all of her stuff. So it kind of opens like with a couple blank pages that you can decorate. So this was one of my first ones. No. Actually, this was the first junk journal page. You can see the ledger wordings, the ledger writings, I'm sorry. And it says, true hope is swift and flies with swallow's wings. That's Shakespeare. Okay, and I also drew out this flower. I used a gel pen for that. I did use my calligraphy pen with teal ink to cover this in. So that's how I did that. And then I took a little small round cup and I dipped it in acrylic paint and I just stamped it. And oh, you can see some sparkle on it maybe. I don't know. Can you see the sheen of the sparkle? And then I drew some lamps so the birds can see where they're going. Okay, so then I did this one with the more swallows and it says savor the magic of doing. Okay. I cut out a flamingo because my friend Trish loves flamingos. I love things from the 50s. So I wanted these birds flying up, and I love sunflowers. They're one of my favorites. So then I thought, well, I'll try something new. I was watching another video of what someone else was doing, and I took Elmer's glue and I went all over willy-nilly, all over the page. And then I had to let that dry for at least 48 hours. So that was just Elmer's glue, right? And then I painted it. It says taking new ground. So I have people everywhere taking new ground. And this journal is really, it is inexpensive. I believe it was $26, but I had to have it. It was like something I had to have because I saw all this beautiful artwork on Instagram that people were doing. I started this page. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. This is from Collage Soup. So I took it and I put it on tracing paper. I ran it through my printer and it's not, oh, it's an inkjet printer, I think. Anyway, I love dogs, so I put him there. I've got to add more to it and I'll show you that page when I'm done. I also have a bird on that page. See how this journal looks? Isn't that super cool? And you can paint over it and it handles paint really, really well. It doesn't buckle and it doesn't curl or do anything nutty. And it doesn't like bleed into the other pages. So what I did was I was on Instagram and I saw Karen Mitchell art and I saw what she had done, but I wanted to do my own version. But I had done this. I finished this the other day. These pictures, these printables are from Collage Soup out of the book Face It. And the stars come in there with it as well. So I also used some ribbons up here. So it says, no journey is too great if you find what you seek. I want to find what I'm seeking. I don't, there's no ifs in my life. Okay, so then it says here, you are capable of becoming more than you realize. Okay. So I want to give all you parents and people out there under stress that there's hope to get past and move forward, even though you have suffered trauma or sadness. Just keep going. Okay. Here under this face, it says make a difference. Under this one, it says stay strong. Okay. Under this one, it says be authentic. This one up here, it says own your dreams. And you can see it's a yellow bling. I have to have bling everywhere. I love things that are shiny and sparkly. And this says own your dreams. And this one here is really important. It says be brave with your life. And that can mean a lot of things for a lot of people. But you can see I sprayed it with Tim Holtz spritzers. And they are like mica sprays. I love all of his products. This here, how I did this was I took Dina Wakley's crayons, then I added water on my hand and I just streaked it down. And you can make them deeper or lighter if you like, but I thought, oh, I'm going to do that. And I really, really like this one here. That's pretty. These are the neon crayons from Dina Wakley. And I always date my work and I sign my work. This was completed February 24th, 2026. Can you believe that? I think this year is flying. Okay, so I used purple bling. I used hot pink. Tried to use the colors that I used with all the crayons. So I really think people are so creative. Very grateful to have this journal. I should be farther along. I'm mad at myself, but I will try to do a piece of artwork at least once a week. I've got to do that as well. I showed you last week that I was doing some deck of card artwork and still working on that. So I'll be updating you with that. And you know, stay busy. I know people like to buy things, and my advice is try not to if you're trying to save money, especially if you're in school and college and working two jobs like I did in nursing school. I love going to IKEA because they have a nice cafeteria, and they also have falafel balls, which are protein, which I need. I need that more in my system. So I love going there because things are somewhat inexpensive. Not that I buy a lot there, but I love their cookies, the raspberry cookies with the cream inside. But I will tell you what I did get over Christmas, and I always go to Pandora over Christmas because they're having a sale and I know it. So what I found was, as crazy as this is, okay, so this ring here, they talked me into all these stackables, right? So this one here is shaped like a heart. Oh, you can probably see it. It turns, and this is the top of the heart. Was only $5. Okay. So you can still make yourself happy buying inexpensive things. Go to the sale rack, find your sales. Then this one here, you're not going to believe what this one was. Any guesses, anybody? I paid, I believe this was $7. And look at it. It's got a lot of sparkles and bling. Now, the last one that left was this crown. Do you see how detailed? I don't know if you can see it very well. Um, the detailing is also on the bottom of the crown. See, there's like a bunch of lines, and these are just it was absolutely beautiful. It was screaming my name, and I thought, oh, that's going to be not so bad, that price. Well, it turned out to be $15, but I thought I have to have it because I'm very into history and kings and queens ruling in Europe, especially England, France, Ireland, Germany. I'm just fascinated with history. So I really hope this video has helped everyone have a good Friday. And we have to do self-care to protect our minds, calm down, breathe. But we have to look forward and try not to look backward and keep going. Like Harriet Tubman always said, that's my favorite saying, keep going. So stay busy. When you're down in the dumps and you don't feel like doing your project, like last night, I was so tired, and this was only at 8 p.m. or 2000 hours, whichever you prefer. And I wanted to just go to bed. I just wanted to lay in bed because I was so exhausted from yesterday. Um, I did a lot of work on the horse yesterday, and he wiped me out. He was a gelding. He was so cute. But I had to really pump him and work him, and he wore me out. He was 17 hands, and I have never been on a 17-hand horse before. But he did good. He did good. Uh, I did good as well, but I'm getting back to where I used to be, which was good. I don't start crying, so I'm going to let everybody go, and I will see you all next Friday for Self Care Fri-yay, and we all will talk soon. Have a good weekend, everybody. Slam the Gavel is a podcast to help the public understand what really goes on in these courtrooms. I'm your host, Maryann Petri. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and share. Apple, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google, and other platforms I don't know about. Again, feel free to buy me a coffee to help keep this podcast going. I thank you all and have an excellent weekend.